And our next speaker is Chris Cotton.
Okay, this is a poem about a friend of mine named Blake, and it's based on a couple stories he told me that seem to describe him quite well. I can see Blake from how he tells it, getting stoned in the back of a pickup truck, 3 Navajo Indians in the cab, as they screamed along on that cold Montana night. Or the time he told me he held a backpack sale. Out of money in some little town in Oregon, he pulled up on the sidewalk to sell what unnecessities he still owned, a poster, a magic marker, a t-shirt, and he made enough to enjoy himself and get on to wherever he was going next. So Blake, the house of cheerfulness he carries on his back, and though at times he lugs it angry-faced, when he sets down to open it, it's the dispensary of smiles. And there he goes, in the back of that racing pickup. I don't know where he was going, or if he knew, or even if the men driving knew. But there he goes, sitting up with the cold wind in his long hair, sucking every breath of life out of that hot, fiery joint, holding the smoke in like he does, distending the whole of each hot lung. Long down there he keeps it, moving every last shot of dope to his own fiery mind, and then exhaling the entirety and bobbing his head, slowly, rhythmically, like he does when he's really enjoying himself. With joy on fire on his face, oh, I can see him, rumbling across that speeding night, smoking, bouncing his head, smiling completely, and I imagine him repeating to himself in a scream of joy, yeah, I'm alive. I got just one more. It's based on when my grandfather died a couple years ago. My aunts found him at his bed, and he was kneeling in prayer when they found him dead. And when I went down there for the funeral and everything, the doctor told me that he died of a myocardial infarction, and that's the doctor language for a heart attack. Anyway, and I wrote a poem based on this experience and the way he died, and the fact that anyway, the poem's called "The Doctor Says He Died of a Myocardial Infarction." In prayer he was, the pious man, in peace when he died. My mother's father, one tough Christian, one old Christian. Praying, he died at the foot of his bed, talking, worshiping, talking to God. Though in pain he was, and sad, unspeakably sad. Oh Christ, he was dying, but unafraid, unbitter to the fervent core. On his knees by his long a widower bed, almost simple like a child's prayers. But Jesus, what a lifetime of thinking, of struggle. He used to wipe imaginary sweat from his wrinkled brow and say, smiling, "Ooh, but we had to work in those days." Made it seem so simple. What a life. Then faith, bold faith, made it go so well. Made it go so well. His time was a work of art. Dead wrong, doctor. My grandfather died because he was sure it was time to die. He was sure death came next. He'd done his work, and what work he'd done, and it was finished. He'd chosen his path a lifetime ago, and he'd run the whole course. An all-filled childhood, brave youth. His wife he loved long and well, nursed her in cancer, and he buried her. And he saw his family strong into the 4th generation, in the graceful golden age, and golden it was. Patriarch, the college he built, the church he built, and in that town, my God, I walked across town with a chorus of, "Hello, Mr. Moreland. Afternoon, Mr. Moreland. Good to see you, Mr. Moreland." And in that town, he was the grand old man. He was ready to go, said so himself. Rare gift, to be at peace with the finish of life. But that doctor is a student of death. The only blood he knows is spilt blood, outside the body where it doesn't belong. On his latex gloves he gropes inside the chest. He only knows dead parts, though if pressed he might say life came first. Dissected in jars or slivered on microscope slides. Hell, he probably would have called an ambulance if he'd seen the old man slumped at the bedside. Even heart attack sounds too lifelike to him. He's got to anesthetize the language before he can use it. There's a sculpture in a local museum ahead of Beethoven, done long after his life from the death mask. Jesus Christ, he looks so alive.
Chris Cotton, and our next reader is Jay Cater. Hello? Testing, 1, 2, 3.
You're a lucky woman.
It's still there.